Hey y'all, welcome to the channel. This is Dream Another Day Tarot, and this is going to be a reading for whoever needs to hear it. Please keep in mind this is a general reading, so it may or may not resonate with you. Just take what does and leave the rest for somebody else. Eight of Wands going to come out. This is fast-moving communication and action, okay? So I think that's a good vibe to start the reading with. If you are interested in any of my other disclaimers, please feel free to check the description box below. One of the other things I like to always tell my audience is that gender is fluid in tarot. So just take what resonates, place yourself where you fit, and I will use gender neutral language as much as possible. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get into this reading. Please remember, if you like the video, to hit that like button, drop me a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you get a heads up when I go live. I go live every Friday and answer your questions for free. So you can come and drop your questions in the chat box, and I try to get to everybody. So if I don't answer your question right away, just hang in there. And if you want to drop me a donation, you're more than welcome to. All those links are down in the description box as well. You're welcome to drop me a donation anytime. Okay, we've got the Strength card coming out here as well. So, interesting. It's kind of like hanging tight is almost the energy I'm getting, which is funny because I was just saying that about asking me questions in my live. But it's kind of like remaining strong while you kind of wait for things to come in, if that makes sense. So let's go ahead and say our affirmations and we'll get into this reading. Thank you so much, Spirit, for your divine messages and guidance. We're deeply grateful, and we know we couldn't do this without you. Would you please help guide the collective spirit for their highest good, and please bless us and protect us as we move forward into this reading. Okay, let's go ahead and get into this. Thank you, Spirit. Any messages for the collective? Any messages for the collective? Okay. All right. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Devil coming out. Okay. As well as the Empress in reverse. So the first thought that I had was there's something, okay, or somebody potentially, but there's something in your life that is kind of holding you back and keeping you down in a way. And it's making it very challenging for things to come into your life here. Okay, and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse tells me that there may be some challenging aspects to your financial situation, but it could be also talking about your feelings of self-sufficiency, your ability to stand on your own 2 feet. Usually the Nine of Pentacles in reverse can also say that you're not alone, but in that same regard, it's almost like you're not alone in the, it's almost a little creepy what's coming through, but like, hear me out. It's like you're not alone in the fact that your, like, things are not, I hate to say it, but I got to say the message. The fact that things aren't working out for you right now, it's not your own doing, okay? It's not just you contributing to it. It's other people also, or other things, right? So this could talk about addictions. This could talk about toxic energy, and that can be, like I said, this could be within you, and this could also be in your environment, right? This could be, honestly, like society at large. This could talk about... I'm literally hearing the words like slavery, you know? But one of the things we have to remember about the Devil is... So, like, if you want to look at it in some, like, you know, kind of, I don't know, I don't want to say, like, biblically, but, like, it typically, you know, it's, I think, pretty well established that, you know, this devil energy really rules over the physical world, right? So, that's why it always, you know, kind of talks about, you know, it's like... how do I explain this? It's like kind of like a tricky energy, which I think is really fitting for the Devil. But what it is coming through is kind of like energy manifests physically, okay? And so when you have toxic thinking, or other people around you have toxic thinking, or whatever it is, and like I just want to put out there too, is that we don't want to blame other people, okay? But we do want to a certain degree, take accountability for ourselves, and then also recognize where other people might be impacting our energy, and try and have compassion for them to a certain degree, because, you know, none of us are perfect, and we're all growing and learning all the time. So we can kind of give a little bit of compassion there, but at the same time, it's almost like you need to be able to navigate the world and still be successful and keep yourself balanced enough, regardless of what other people have going on and their energy around you, right? So it does come to the mind, right? So if we give a little too much credence and too much power to other people's energy, then it can actually impact us because we're almost giving our power away. And I think that's part of the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, is like giving your power away by letting the negative thinking or negative energy of others, right? And like I said, this could be like society at large. This could be a theme playing out throughout humanity. You know, these readings are collective readings, by the way, also. So that does come up a lot. And also keep in mind that this can be for any astrology sign, but this is most often associated with Capricorn. And Capricorn is an earth sign. So again, with this kind of like earth energy, earthly realm, physical realm, but it starts in the mind. So we can be bound to things like, this can talk about addictions also, and sometimes those things can, obviously it causes us, we can have physical sensations and physical cravings and all that sort of thing. And I will say, like, give yourself some compassion if you're struggling with addiction right now. Because it's one of those things that is very challenging, and especially if you are having a hard time overcoming it yourself, sometimes you just need some assistance. Okay. But you also don't want to give your power away to whatever it is and say like, I'm not strong enough to do it, yada yada. You have to have faith in yourself that you can overcome addiction, right? And this could be anything. It could be addicted to a way of thinking, addicted to toxic media and, consuming, I'm even hearing like violent, or negative, media, right? So with this Empress in reverse, it's kind of like when you are stuck in that type of energy, or that kind of energy surrounds you, it's very hard to be in this open, abundant, like nurturing, compassionate type of energy. It's very hard to receive, the things that it is you need, because, not only just addiction, but this type of energy really kind of like, it encapsulates our experience, right? So then it kind of keeps us closed off. So look at that, Two of Swords in reverse. Wow, this came off the top of the deck. This is all about opening your eyes, right? And letting your putting your swords down, you know what I mean? Opening up. So this is I think a message for, somebody who maybe is feeling kind of isolated, kind of closed off, but then realizing like they can't do this thing alone. So it's like needing support from others, but being kind of trapped in your own world. So this is about opening up, I feel like. Look at that, Eight of Swords. Very, very similar energy. Feeling stuck in your situation, feeling bound. Maybe mentally you're feeling like, you kind of discount things before they even happen, right? Like you're kind of like, oh, well, that could never work out, or I'm not good enough for this, or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Negative thinking, okay? And that's going to keep you from being able to embrace and open up to, the blessings, right? Yeah, Three of Swords in reverse. I feel like you need to learn how to let go of, pain and toxicity and heartbreak, because it's really impacting your ability to be optimistic, And like the thing is too, on this channel, I want y'all to know that like, never ever, if I'm saying like giving advice or whatever, these are messages that are coming through, and it's kind of like a don't shoot the messenger type of thing, where I'm like, I'm not judging anyone individually for this, and I'm here to encourage y'all to reach for your highest potential, essentially. You know what I mean? For the good of yourself and of humanity, right? But it's obvious to me, because I'm a human, I'm a part of the collective, and I'm feeling this shit, that we're in positions now that are incredibly challenging, and can really, really test our resolve and test our resilience. And, many of us, I feel like, are just drained and traumatized and just want to give up on all this. And I completely understand that. So if that's how you're feeling right now, and maybe I almost just said maybe some of my words are itchy, or they are irritating, then I understand that. So basically I'm saying that, even with all those things in mind, because like I said, I'm not ignorant to that. But even with those things in mind, it's like, we have choices, okay? We have choices. And even though it may feel like we don't have choices, and it feels like we're kind of backed into a corner and we don't have options. We don't have, the freedom or the ability to be optimistic or to reach for our highest potential and all that sort of thing. And that feels like pie in the sky, like type of idealism or something. I'm just here to tell you that that is a mentality. And I know, because it's not just mental, it's physical. Okay, right? Like, I get that. But this is part of why I feel like, Spirit gives me these messages, because it's like we need sometimes insight from a higher power or something above us that can see more than we can, right? Because we're all in our own little boxes here. But if we were able to see the whole picture, of course, we would also be able to see how dire the situation is, how bad it is, but we'd also be able to see the possibilities of the directions it can go and the possibilities of the, and also not just possibilities, the positive things that are happening too, and the way that these challenges are really inspiring people to rise up and, take action, right? So, it's like it starts with us, right, internally. So this is part of the message. Here comes that Eight of Swords again. Now, Spirit is really wanting me to drive this home because this just came flying out. But the Eight of Swords is all in the mind. That's one of the main things about this card is that if this person could take off their blindfold, they would realize that the swords they are able to slip between the swords. They're able to get out of that mentality, and the ropes are loose enough that they could shimmy out of the ropes. And it's the same thing with the devils. Like, the chain is loose enough around the neck, they could just slip it off over their heads and leave, right? So this is like a really important message. Spirit is trying to say that, even you're thinking of like, yeah, well, yeah, that sounds nice and everything, but, I don't really have the luxury of optimism, right? I don't really have the luxury of this or that. This very like kind of accusatory and like toxic mentality of like, you don't understand, no one understands, and this is so bad and all this sort of thing. It's like, I can't say, like, there's experiences on this planet that that I have not had and I will not relate to. You know what I mean? But I can have compassion for it, and understand it to the best of my ability. But it doesn't mean that I, it's like I am suffering with you, but I can't sit here and say, I get it, to every single person out there who may watch this video, right? So I'm not trying to take away, or like, what's the word? Like devalidate or devalue your experience or tell you that it's not as bad as you think it is, because, chances are it is. You know what I mean? And like I said, I can't sit here and say that, I fully get it and understand, and you still need to toughen up, like that's really toxic too. So what I'm saying is, though, where in your life can you shimmy out of some fucking ropes here? You know what I mean? Where in your life can you like take these chains off and say, fuck this. I'm not going to think like this anymore. I'm not going to live like this anymore. I'm not doing this. You know what I mean? And this is where I feel like Spirit is really trying to drive this message home, is that, thinking that it's not possible for you to do that is part of the toxic thinking, right? And again, it can be frustrating because it's physical. It's like, yeah, I'm in this position where that I physically am not able to do X, Y, and Z, or I am financially not able to do X, Y, and Z, right? Or I'm in a hole, you know what I mean? Like, and yeah, that's a very real thing. So I'm not going to sit here and say it's not. But what I'm saying is, where are your footholds, right? Where are your avenues of possibly being able to navigate your way out of that situation? Because if you keep the mindset that, the whole world's against me, I'm screwed, I'm stuck in this situation, it's never going to get better, and then it's like you are doing, like, it's not that you put yourself in that hole, you know what I mean? That I know of, right? The message is that this could be other people who've put you in that situation, right? Through like unkind decisions and injustice and et cetera, right? Now you're in this position. And so it can feel impossible to get your way out of it. But it's not impossible. It's just fucking hard. You know what I mean? And it's challenging. And it is unfair. Okay, nobody should be in this energy. This is because of the toxic bullshit that is running our planet right now, basically. So you have every right to be upset. You have every right to be angry, and you have every right to feel the way that you feel, right? Disappointed, disillusioned, you know. I'm hearing unprepared, disadvantaged, you know, upset. It's very unfair for sure. But with all that in mind, Spirit is saying, if everything in the world is holding you down and holding you back, then why would you do that to yourself too? That's what Spirit's trying to say. Spirit's not saying that all this stuff isn't happening to you. Spirit's just saying you don't want to be another odd stacked against you. You know what I mean? You don't want to be another fucking person holding you down and holding you back, right? You need to be your own fucking confidant, your own best friend, right? 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Because you're the one carrying these wands. You're the one carrying the burden, you know? So you need to be able to throw down the burdens that you're carrying, right? You get what I'm saying? We don't want to add more pressure and more weight and more stress to ourselves than what is already being fucking shoveled our way. Okay? That's the message. Temperance. Patience and balance, right? That's a very, like, I'm definitely feeling a lot of anger right now. And part of that is because it is unfair. You know what I mean? You're not making it up. But if you watch any of my videos, if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel, you know. But if you watch any of my other videos, this has come up before. And one of the things that came up about this was, I remember, I was right on the tip of my tongue. It's sorry, y'all. It's a really, really heavy energy that just came through. It's like, again, you have a right to be angry, but that's exactly what the antagonist wants. That's the fucking message. That's what the message was, is that if there is an antagonist, right, in your world, okay, in society and on the planet at large, right, those who seek to control and dominate, right, and antagonize, they are fucking betting on the fact that you psychologically will be defeated, will be disillusioned, upset, and give up. And if they keep poking, if they keep shoveling, if they just keep you bound, then you will bind yourself. Like, you will tie the bow on top, right? You know what I'm saying? You will finish the job for them. And that's what they want. Because I'm telling you right now, anybody who practices the occult, by the way, this is coming through, anyone who practices the occult and does black magic or whatever, anyone who does that, they know that it's in the mind. And yeah, it may be physical. There may be some physical actions that they're taking to try and destroy your joy, destroy your freedom, destroy your ability to prosper, right? These are very real things that are happening. But half the battle is getting you to feel a certain way, getting you to think a certain way, and that will dictate your actions. So if you feel defeated, you're not going to put up a fight. You know what I mean? Because they know the power of your spirit, okay? Because that is what they're using against you, you know? They know the power of your spirit, which is part of the reason why they want to harness it. They're not just trying to extinguish you, unless, of course, you cannot be controlled. You know, if you're completely ungovernable, and you're radically joyful and fucking continue to fight because you found that power of spirit, then, you know, yeah, they might just try and extinguish you completely, because then at that point you're an enemy. You know what I mean? Like you're an actual threat. And now here's the thing is that if you're an outlier, you know, then it makes it much more challenging for you to overcome in the physical world, right? But if you know that it doesn't fucking, it's not that it doesn't matter, but what I'm saying is that they cannot take your spirit away from you, right? They cannot extinguish your spirit, and they fucking know that. You know what I mean? So they know that if you have the power to not only liberate yourself, but to liberate others, to emancipate your mind, right? To decolonize your mind, then it's like, well, then you're a threat. Because, now this is the important part, because if you are capable of doing that, right? And there's enough of us that are able to do that, then we are a true threat, because we are coming through. Did you hear this jet plane above me right now? We never get planes like that. Sorry, I'm just like, that is really funny timing. See, this need to dominate, this need to strike fear into people, you know what I mean? To get them to think that they are stuck, make them think that they're dominated, that there's powers bigger than them on this planet, right? Now, what I'm saying is that if somebody is afraid of your liberation, then you have to know that they benefit from your slavery, right? Mentally or otherwise. So, I guess that's fairly obvious. But what I want to impart upon you is that you should be excited about the idea of liberating yourself to a point that makes your aggressor and your antagonist feel truly threatened. Because then you know you're onto something. That's how you know you're fucking onto something. You know what I mean? And what I'm saying is that we can overcome. We can overpower. And we can win. You know? And it starts with you. It starts in the mind. It starts in the spirit. Because you could sit here your whole life and have these fucking phenomenal ideas, you know, all this passion, you know, all of this constructive, these constructive ideas, right? And you could live your whole life with just so much fucking potential and inner power, right? But if you have fear that, oh, well, that's going to make me a target, or somebody somewhere is going to try and stop me, or I'll never get funding for that, or people are never going to trust me and follow my lead, you know, or I'm not going to get support, you know, all this sort of thing. That's a mentality that is a predictive thought process where you go, oh, it won't work out. Oh, no, it couldn't be me. You know what I mean? And you will hold yourself back, because where did all that thought process come from? You get what I'm saying? From the antagonist, from the aggressor, from the enemy, right? And this is like on a spiritual plane. This is on a psychological plane. This is very clearly physical as well. So just please keep in mind that, like, this is what this energy wants. Wants you to be hypnotized and bound and afraid and feel pathetic. You know what I mean? I can't do it, right? Nothing's working out for me, you know? But no, it's a fucking lie. It's a illusion. That's the biggest thing. It's an illusion. Okay, thank you, Spirit, because I was like, how do I explain this in a better way? But like, that's it. It's an illusion. It is an illusion. That's what the enemy is banking on, that you stay disillusioned, that you stay stuck. Four of Swords in reverse. You need to get out of your own head. Get out of your own bed, even. Get out of bed. Get out of your head. You know what I mean? Stop feeling sick with grief and sick with anger and sick with all these things. You need to get out and go outside. Like, literally physically for some of you out there, but mentally for sure. Yeah, it's toil and strife. That's what they're hoping for. If you can see this objectively, like, try not to feel anything. Like, see if you can step out of yourself and out of your situation enough to be objective. Take all those feelings away, right? And just look at it clearly and say, if, you know, A, B, and C, right? Okay, so like this bastard energy, whatever it is, right? Really hopes that I don't succeed because my success means their demise. So how would they prevent me from succeeding? Oh, well, they throw all of these obstacles in my way. Okay, we got that. Red tape, right? Glass ceiling, blah, blah, blah. Throw all those things in my way. Look at that fucking airplane again. I swear to God, we don't get jet planes like this all the time. Like, that's strange timing. How do I make them feel afraid? How do I make them feel small? How do I make them feel angry and defeated and all these things? Because that'll keep them from taking positive action. That's going to keep them from feeling big. That's going to keep them from feeling like they can succeed and they can overcome me, right? So if you can look at it objectively like that, you're like, oh, it's a formula. It's a formula. It's a blueprint. This is something that is used. And you know what? You can even look at it very, very personally, get into the microcosm of like narcissistic abuse. That's a great example. How do I break down this person's self-esteem, make them feel small, so then they don't want to leave me because they don't think they can do better than me because I love them more than anybody loves them. Sorry if I'm triggering anybody. Seriously, though, that's the energy I'm getting. Look at that, the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. Traditional structures, right? Traditional power structures, right? It's so similar to the Devil. Do you fucking see this? Do you see this shit? Look at that. It's literally exactly the fucking same exact fucking energy. And what's so crazy about the Hierophant is, like, you know, you can see it in a lot of different ways. But in this case, it's like, this is what's really behind the veil, you know? Where it's like, oh, people making decisions and making all these, you know, changing policies, blah, blah, blah. This is the energy. They want to keep you bound to them. Because guess what, y'all? The only reason why any of these people have power is because we give it to them. Because if we thought of them as like a silly little club, oh, look at those weirdos over there again, trying to tell people what to do. That's funny. You know what I mean? Then we could turn these power structures on their head. And we could say, yeah, we actually don't agree with y'all having power anymore. Many of us feel that way. So why do we continue to give them power? Because they've been there. They've always been there. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, but at a certain point, there's no more. I'm just saying, y'all. I'm just saying. And like I said, it's a physical thing because it's not only just, it's in the mind. And it's not just in our mind. It's in the mind of those who carry out their deeds and do their dirty work, right? Okay? And without being super specific, hopefully you know what I'm saying, you know? There's people who are willing to do their dirty work because it's like, you know what I mean? There's money involved and, you know, et cetera, right? Because these are the traditional power structures. So therefore, you know, but we can be triumphant over that. We can be triumphant over that. I'm telling you, y'all. Because you know what? We need to start looking towards our leaders. And we need to start looking at those who've succeeded and those who have continued to succeed. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to start wrapping up this reading. If y'all are here and you're still enjoying the reading, look at that, the Chariot. We can move forward together. We can do this shit. We need to get in balance mentally, spiritually, physically, blah, blah, blah. Get in balance and move the fuck forward. And it's going to happen quick. I'm really getting that. I was going to say, if you're liking this reading, please hit that like button. Drop me a comment. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. This is very similar to how a lot of my readings go. I can't help it, y'all. These are collective readings. We're talking about the collective here. Page of Cups. Don't be surprised. I know there's a lot of noise going on. Please don't be surprised if these really, really good ideas come from small fish. Don't be surprised. Okay? Look at that. The Fool card. We need to get back in this energy of feeling like anything's possible. Because it fucking is. Okay? And I know it's really easy to think that people like me are idealistic. That we just haven't seen the worst of the worst. Like, the only reason why I'm still fucking alive and give a fucking shit at all is because of this inside of me. If I didn't have that, oh yeah, I'd be fucking done for. But I'm just saying, I decided to throw those fucking burdens down, and I do it every day. It's not fucking easy. You know? I don't want to get too deep into my own personal shit, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? I fight that shit every day, you know? And I don't want to be alive a lot of the times, you know what I mean? I can't stand seeing this shit, you know? And I get really fucking angry, you know? But that's part of the thing. That's part of it, you know what I mean? This is grief. This is trauma. This is what it is, you know? But the only thing that keeps me going is hope, you know? And so that's a lot of what I do on this channel. Is encourage us to continue to rise up, throw off the fucking the burdens that have been put on us. You know what I mean? Say fuck y'all. We're creating our own fucking world now. This is our world now. We are inheriting the world. One of the things we have to realize too, like I said, it always gets political, but one of the things we have to realize too is that there's people in our generations, right? Okay, the younger generations, who think like the old crew. You know what I mean? The old heads, all these fuckers who are about ready to kick the bucket. They've trained up all their little minions to carry on their legacy, right? So this is what we need to worry about, is that we need to help those people also. I know, let's help the oppressor. We need to help them to decolonize their mind, right? But it's like, help them to throw off those burdens too, and to deconstruct that. Because all they're going to do is take on the burden of their predecessors, right? To be fighting against people, you know? There's no reason to fucking do that, you know? And that's one of the beautiful things I think about, like, this, the way that things are kind of unfurling, right? The way that things are starting to open up. It's like the oppressor has to realize also that they carry the burden of oppressing. Okay? And it sounds fucking dumb. Who the fuck would say that, right? But what I'm saying is that it's like, okay, let me give a personal example. For a long time, I definitely had a little bit of a control problem. Okay? And now, but I always thought that, you know, I knew better somehow. This is me being very honest. So there are times when I thought, you know, that I just knew better, that there was some better way to do something. And, you know, if people would just fucking listen to me, you know, then the world would be at a better place and we could fucking, you know what I mean? And so I had a little bit of this, this attitude, right? Where I would kind of judge other people, and I had a little bit of like, why would you do it that way? Or, you know, and I'll say to a certain degree, there are definitely situations where I was probably right, but there are situations where there was 1,000 ways to do something, and it didn't matter. And why did I feel the need to be, you know, in control? Or why did I feel the need to, you know, and I know that it's, you know, for a multitude of reasons, but I'll just say that when I finally started learning how, and I'm still learning every day, but when I finally started learning how to, like, live and let live a little bit, you know, and kind of let go of what other people want to do and how they want to live and et cetera, you know, then it's like, I felt a little less burdened, you know, because even things that I still disagree with, right? Like, let me use something lighthearted, like littering, for example, okay? I still fucking hate seeing trash on the ground. I still hate that people throw their fucking furniture out on the sidewalk because they're too fucking, I don't, okay, see, there I go. Okay? I start to extrapolate. Why are you this way? Why did you do that? You must be a piece of garbage, right? It's that whole mentality. So I realized, like, if I let what other people do, you know, bother me on such a deep level and upset me, then it's like, then I go around acting resentful and closed off and angry and, you know, this world is going to hell in a handbasket and all this sort of attitude and mentality about people, instead of realizing, like, you know, people make bad decisions sometimes, or sometimes people just make decisions that I don't agree with, you know. But if I can just focus on me and my little world, I don't throw trash on my floor, right? Cool. I'm living the way I want to live, you know. Unfortunately, we have shared space, we have community space, we have neighborhoods and cities where that what we do affects the people around us, you know. So we need to start imparting a little bit of community mentality for sure. But part of that is giving a little bit more grace and understanding, right? Okay, well, people keep throwing trash on the ground. Maybe we need to implement more community trash cans and stuff, you know what I mean? And like a lot of cities do that. But, you know, it's kind of like, well, maybe we need more, and we need them more, in specific areas. Like maybe we say, okay, well, there's not a whole lot of trash on the ground in some of our spaces where there's lots of trash cans. That seems to be catching the majority. But we need to expand that, you know. Maybe there's areas where it's like, well, we need to just have pickups for trash that's not residential. You know what I mean? I guess if you get what I'm saying. Solutions, okay? Solutions. The other thing is furniture and, you know, mattresses and stuff. A lot of people don't take care of those properly, like get rid of them properly, because there is pickup fees associated. There's drop-off fees at the dump. People can't afford it, or they don't have a vehicle, whatever. There's lack of access to disposing of something properly. This is just like a lighthearted example, okay? But there's so many other things in our society that we need to look at in that way. Create solutions instead of being upset at people for not being able to access what's already available, right? So I digress. What I'm saying is that we need to stop being so angry about the issues and start thinking more oriented. Be more solution oriented. Because I'm telling you, y'all, like, this is not going to last. The way we're doing things now is just like the furthest thing from sustainable. Like, it's so far gone. Like, to the point where, like, yeah, sometimes I'm just like, let it burn. Let it fucking burn. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? That's the energy sometimes that I get into. And I know I'm not alone in that. But what I want to encourage us to think instead is, how can I be a positive change? How can I be a positive actor? I'm like carrying a lot of words, but how can I be an actor of positive change? How can I make choices that impact my community in a positive way without being angry at the people who make choices that impact their community in a negative way? What if I practiced radical acceptance? Okay. And I can say, okay, I don't really agree with this. I don't really like this. There's problems here, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, like, let those burdens down a little bit, you know, drop those burdens a little bit and just say, oh, maybe there's a way that we can figure this out together. You know, how about those who are contributing to the problem? Explain to me a little bit, like, what's going on in their mind, like what process goes through their mind when they make decisions like this, right? Like, have we ever interviewed people who litter? You know, it's like really stupid. I'm using that as an example, but I'm talking about all of it. Like, let's talk about all of it, you know? Honestly, y'all, like, I would really like to start a forum or like I personally don't want to be in charge of the discourse. Because, oh my God. But I would really like to start some type of a conference, you know, where it's not just any person on the internet can come and contribute. I'm talking to people who actually know what they're talking about. No offense, but experts or something. Or maybe not experts, because we're talking about sometimes it can just be, but look, we can manifest this. Like, we can call into question, you know, the way things are, and kind of see like, well, how can we change this? Instead of just beating our heads against the wall and be like, this sucks so much. You know, why are you people like this? And all the anger and everything. Because anger, frustration, control, all those things, they adversely impact the very people we're trying to change, right? You know? I mean, I can't tell you how many times, y'all, that like I've been in arguments, you know what I mean, with people about stuff like this, or how many times I've been, you know, frustrated with somebody because of the decisions that they made that impacted me, but my frustration only made them grow more resentful, you know what I mean? And it just made them almost want to do it just to spite me, you know what I mean? And be petty. And so it's like, oh, you don't like that I left the kitchen a mess, for example? Okay, next time I'll make it even fucking worse. You know what I mean? And this is a subconscious thing that humans do. You know what I mean? It's just something humans do, y'all. So we need to understand human behavior more, and we need to get better at communicating. Okay, I need to end this fucking reading. I'm sorry, y'all. I gotta go. But I love you. Thanks for checking us out. Hit the buttons, do all that sort of thing, and I'll see you next time. Join me on Friday for my live also. All right, bye.